Hey, how's it going guys? ZDEyE here. So I wanted to bring in my honest review and with this compiled a kind of full complete package experience of Red Dead Redemption 1. Now, I already have made a separate review of Red Dead Redemption 1 main games after I completed the main story, and if you want to check it out you can do so. I will leave down links below in the description. And also, just recently I have made another review, but specifically about Red Dead Redemption DLC, the Undead Nightmare. Now, I wanted to do them separately because I actually have never played this game before. This is my first time experiencing it, and this time, in this video specifically, I want to do a little bit of a compiling both of these, experiences together and sharing my thoughts on that. Now, unfortunately, a few things have been present in the main game, and the Undead Nightmare are still relatively the same as it was, as I have mentioned in my review videos. One thing's for certain, like, if the Undead Nightmare has issues, main game unfortunately has the same issues. Same goes vice versa. And as such, I want to start off, I love the way how these two kind of experiences compile together, and such as like characters, right? When you meet the characters for the first time in the main game, and then you meet them again once again in the Undead Nightmare. And how everything goes about, basically, it's right before... Well, the game's 13 years old, so I'm gonna have to get into some of the spoilers. So how basically John is he dies, right? Right before his death, that's when the Undead Nightmare is basically begins. And you can see how everything he meets, like certain characters once again from the main game in the Undead Nightmare DLC. I love that kind of like reintroductions towards the characters that you have already met. And also what I liked as well, that the Undead Nightmare can be a different experience as well, right? You don't actually have to complete the main game to experience the Undead Nightmare. Now, I would actually say, well, I'm against it, to be honest with you. I think the best thing to do is obviously play the main game, then the Undead Nightmare. But of course, that's really up to you to make that kind of decision. So, few things that are good, I'm gonna mention them. They are very good in the main game and the Undead Nightmare DLC, such as the interesting and great storytelling, memorable as mentioned characters, quite satisfying shootouts and controls in terms of the, how you can actually kill these enemies and such. Like, there's genuine engagement there. I liked it. Actually, a shared open world, right? Like, a lot of things are present in the main game are in the Undead Nightmare. Of course, they have their own twists and turns, and I like them, right? For example, in the Undead Nightmare, there's a lot more spookier in terms of its world, and it's a lot more fog and undead and stuff like that. It's just the world looks more dead. I like this freaky, it's like Halloween aspect you can definitely see and say. And the main game, well, it's not exactly the same thing since there's no undead, but it still is a nice touch. I really liked it. And of course, with the brilliant soundtrack introductions in the main game, that's actually a little bit different comparing this to the Undead Nightmare and how it's been done. I really liked it. Okay, so, of course, some of the goods, unfortunately, there's going to be some of the negatives. For example, the resolutions seriously needs to be bumped up and improved. There's so many issues, especially when I go, it doesn't matter if it's in the Undead or it's in the main game. That anytime I go to the tall trees and basically where it's like snow and everything like that, it's seriously like it's so taxing in your eyes that it feels like you're about to puke or you're gonna pass out any moment. It's really bad. Like, they needed to improve these, like, I'm not too sure resolution or graphical improvements, but unfortunately they decided against it. Okay, so there's some noticeable animation bugs unfortunately present here. I'm not sure if this was also the same thing on the PlayStation 3 version of the game, but my god, whenever I want to loot the corpses, I constantly keep getting stuck on these like bodies, and I just like can't move. Like, otherwise you're gonna have to go around the corpses so you can jump over them. It's a little bit awkward, and there's some bugs like that, and not just that, there's few more, but they're nothing like really noticeable or groundbreaking or like, you know, that can really break your game. In total, I think I only had like maybe 2 major crashes that completely shuts down the game for me. On my PlayStation 5, by the way, I've played. So yeah, PlayStation 5 version I've been playing this game on, even though this is only available as a PlayStation 4 version of the game. So very weird choice in terms of the menus as well. Like, even though it's, well, it works, right? You can ignore it, you can actually use it to your own advantage and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I'm noticing that the menu is very low resolution, especially when you zoom in. It's genuinely a very, very poorly made menu. And I don't think it's like poorly made. Like I said, I know that resolution was not actually bumped up on the main menu itself, other than having those buttons layout are actually HD quality, because that's been that's actually been well improved, but other than that, nothing really much else in terms of the UI or the menu. Yeah, so I want to say that I had a great time with the whole experience, the whole package, for the first time especially, since, like I said, I already knew how everything went about even before playing this game, but I never played it on my PlayStation 3. I only began maybe and played it for give or take of 20 minutes. I do not remember why I didn't continue it, but I only did that for the main game. I didn't even touch the Undead Nightmare DLC. And as such, I want to say that for a PlayStation 4 version of this game and experiencing it for a $50 price tag, that it's incredibly steep, unfortunately, and genuinely is not worth it. Like I said, if you want to pick up this game, if you're thinking about it, or perhaps you already did pick it up, just wait for the sale, a good big sale, because maximum, in my personal opinion, that you should pay for this game, especially if you're coming back to it again, yeah, $30 is maximum. But if you're first time experiencing this game like I did, well, maybe there will be some kind of justification of you actually purchasing it for $50, but I don't think so. Even though this is my first time experiencing it, properly playing it from beginning to end, including the DLC, the Undead Nightmare, I still say that $50 is too much. I'm sorry. There's so many things that are negative that are unfortunately present here, even though there are the same issues and problems that were existing on the PlayStation 3 version of the game. And it's very weird, the decision that has been made not to do any sorts of improvements. And the only proper improvements that you can definitely notice, well, it's basically that this game is running on PlayStation 4, and obviously it's a more powerful console. This means there's going to be automatic improvements, but not improvements that you should expect, at least to minimum standards, especially asking for that $50 price tag. It's quite expensive, mind you. But yeah, if I would have to give it a score, maybe give it a 7 fully, completely, and because it genuinely deserves it. It is a great experience. I definitely recommend for those of you that want to experience it for yourself. But when I say recommend, wait until the sale, because this game will go down and sell relatively, well, quickly, hopefully Black Friday, but I do not know yet. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to mention regarding this game. Like and subscribe. I will be continuing playing, I think, maybe, and I'll go for that 100% completion, maybe even go for a platinum. I do not yet know. Alright, like and subscribe, see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.